Some songs are crafted carefully, piece by piece, shaped across studios and scheduled writing sessions. Others are built for radio, designed to climb the charts, engineered to become the next big hit. But every once in a great while, a song arrives that was never meant for an audience at all. It wasn't planned, it wasn't polished, it wasn't written with fame or success in mind. It was born in the dark, written by a man who had run out of ways to survive his own pain, a father who could no longer explain the hole in his heart, a man who woke up one night overwhelmed by a wave of emotions so powerful that the only thing he could do was write words that felt too raw for anyone else to ever hear. This is the story of that man, the story of that night, and the story of the song he never intended to share. A song that somehow became a worldwide anthem of hope, healing, and faith. This is the story behind Craig Morgan's The Father, My Son, and the Holy Ghost. In 2016, Craig Morgan was a man the country music world recognized instantly. Patriotic anthems, family-centered lyrics, a good-hearted performer with a loyal fan base, and a reputation for authenticity. He was known as a storyteller, a man of faith, a husband, a father. But on July 10, 2016, his world shattered. His 19-year-old son, Jerry, died in a tragic accident that no parent is ever prepared to face. And the man who had spent his life making music suddenly went silent. No writing, no singing, no performing, nothing. For nearly 3 years, Craig Morgan didn't create a single song, until one night, seemingly out of nowhere, the words began pouring out of him, like a river that had been held behind a dam for far too long. He later said he didn't write the song, he said he received it. A father's private cry of agony turned into a melody. A personal prayer became a message millions would cling to. And a song written in grief became a testimony powerful enough to shake the entire country music industry. How did this happen? Why did this deeply personal story explode into a viral movement with no label, no marketing, and no push from radio? It's a journey filled with heartbreak, human connection, and a moment of divine inspiration. Before the heartbreak made headlines, before the song made history, Craig Morgan lived a life built on foundations that seemed unbreakable. Craig served 17 years in the U.S. Army and Army Reserves. He was no stranger to discipline, danger, or sacrifice. His time in service shaped him, strengthened him, and gave him a sense of purpose and identity. He carried that same discipline into his music career. Where many artists stumbled, Craig stayed grounded. He worked harder than the next guy. He held on to humility when fame knocked on his door. Craig wasn't just a singer. He was a storyteller with a unique voice. Songs like That's What I Love About Sunday,
Pick a backyard football team, not too much.
Redneck Yacht Club, and Almost Home made him a familiar name in households across America. His music wasn't flashy. It wasn't designed to impress critics or chase trends. It was built around the people he loved and the values he lived by. Faith, family, and simple joys. Fans connected with him because he wasn't acting. What you saw was exactly who he was. Craig married his wife, Karen, in 1989. Together they raised 4 children. Family wasn't just important, it was everything. Even during tours, Craig made sure home never felt far away. He called often. He visited whenever he could. He was the kind of father who showed up, even when the schedule was brutal. And among his kids, Jerry, the second oldest, stood out. Athletic, funny, full of life. A teenager with dreams bigger than the world he lived in. Craig's life was full, grounded, complete. The kind of life a man feels confident building into a legacy. But even the strongest foundations can be shaken. On July 10, 2016, the Morgan family spent a normal, peaceful summer day on Kentucky Lake in Tennessee. There was nothing unusual about the afternoon. Laughter echoed across the water. Jerry was tubing with friends, something countless families do every summer. But sometimes, tragedy doesn't arrive with warning signs. Sometimes it comes in a split second. A moment you wish you could rewind, even though you know you can't. Jerry fell off the tube into the water. It wasn't reckless. It wasn't wild. It was the kind of fall that happens thousands of times without consequence. But this time, Jerry didn't resurface. He was wearing a life jacket. Everyone expected him to pop back up, splashing or laughing. But the water stayed still. Panic set in. Friends dove in, searching. Calls were made. Boats sped across the lake. Hours passed. The search became a nightmare, one every parent prays they never have to live through. The next day, authorities found his body. The official cause? Accidental drowning. Craig Morgan, a man who had survived war zones, a man who had stood strong through trials most people couldn't imagine, was brought to his knees. He later said, "I've been beat up. I've been pushed and shoved, but the pain of this was more than I'd ever felt before." There's no manual for how to grieve a child. No amount of strength or faith can prepare you. Craig wasn't just mourning, he was lost. Craig didn't turn to music, he didn't try to write, he didn't try to perform. He disappeared from the creative world completely. He couldn't bring himself to sing songs he once loved. He couldn't find the words to describe the pain. He couldn't step onto a stage without feeling like something vital was missing. Instead, he turned to woodworking. Crafting tables, chairs, frames, anything that allowed his mind to focus on something steady, something solid, something he could control when life felt uncontrollable. But even in silence, his grief never left him. It followed him. It sat with him. It weighed on him like a stone for 3 long years. And then, something changed. It was around 3 a.m. Craig Morgan was asleep, or at least trying to be. Anyone who has grieved knows the nights are the hardest. Your mind doesn't quiet, your heart doesn't rest. The darkness feels heavier than the day. Craig woke suddenly, not from a dream, not from noise, but from words. Lyrics, phrases, lines that seemed to appear out of nowhere. They came fast, all at once, overwhelming and insistent. He grabbed something to write with and started scribbling. He didn't stop. He didn't think. He didn't try to make it sound pretty. He simply wrote what his soul had been carrying. He later said, "God used me to write that song. I didn't write it. I was just the tool."
Even. I just wrote the song. It happened. God used me, and then one thing led to another, and before you know.
The song poured out in less than an hour. It was a confession, a wound, a prayer, a plea for strength on mornings that felt impossible. In the mornings I wake up, give her a kiss, head to the kitchen, pour a cup of Wake Me Up, and try to rouse up some ambition. Another line hit like a punch. Go outside, sit by myself, but I ain't alone. This wasn't songwriting, this was survival. But when it was done, Craig didn't feel relief, he felt fear. Because the question wasn't how he wrote it, the question was, what was he supposed to do with it? Craig didn't write the song for the world. He wrote it for himself, and maybe for God. He wasn't sure he could even sing it aloud. He wasn't sure he wanted anyone else to hear it. But his wife, Karen, did. She said the song was too powerful, too meaningful, too filled with truth to keep private. Craig hesitated. For months, he kept the song close. He played it quietly, rarely, usually alone. It felt too exposed, too honest, too painful. Finally, he agreed to perform it once, just once, at the Grand Ole Opry. Craig stepped onto the stage and tried to steady himself. But as the first verse left his lips, emotion overtook him. His voice cracked. His strength faltered. The audience held its breath. People in the crowd began crying. Some wiped tears quietly. Others clutched the hands of the person next to them. When Craig reached the chorus, he almost couldn't continue. He later admitted he didn't think he would ever sing it again. Backstage, he told country legend Ricky Skaggs, "I don't think I can do that again." Ricky, with tears in his own eyes, looked at him and said, "You have to sing this song. There are people who need it." That single sentence changed everything. Craig finally released the song in August 2019. No label, no radio promotion, no marketing strategy, just a song, a story, a testimony. He didn't expect much, but someone unexpected heard it. When Blake Shelton listened to the song, he was stunned. It wasn't just good, it was overwhelming. Blake immediately called Craig, emotional and shaken, telling him how powerful it was. Then, Blake did something rare in the music industry. He used his platform, not for himself, but for Craig. He tweeted, "I would gladly give up my spot on country radio to get this song on." He shared it again, and again, and again. He practically begged his fans to download it. He posted updates as the song climbed the charts. This wasn't just support. This was a one-man movement. Then, other celebrities joined in. Ellen DeGeneres, Kelly Clarkson, Gwen Stefani, stars from across entertainment. Not because of industry politics, but because the song meant something. Because the pain in Craig's voice was real. Because the story behind the song hit deeper than anything on the radio. And then, the impossible happened. The song hit #1, not just in country, but on the all-genre iTunes chart, above the biggest pop stars, above major label releases, above every marketing machine. A self-released, deeply personal, grief-filled country song written in the middle of the night sat at the very top of the world. When Craig performed the song on The Kelly Clarkson Show, the room fell silent. Kelly Clarkson cried openly. Blake Shelton, who surprised Craig by showing up, cried as well. This wasn't entertainment. This was healing. People began sending Craig messages. "Your song helped me survive losing my daughter. I listened to it every day after my husband passed. This is the only thing that helped me get through my darkest nights." Craig realized something profound. The song wasn't just for him anymore. It had become a vessel, a healing force, a reminder that faith, grief, and love can exist side by side. He often said, "I'd give anything to have my son back, but I know his work isn't finished. This song is part of his purpose now." The Father, my Son, and the Holy Ghost is more than music. It's a tribute, a testimony, a bridge between heaven and earth. It's the kind of story that reminds us the most powerful art often comes from the deepest wounds. Craig Morgan never wanted the world to hear this song. He wrote it because he had to. But in sharing it, he gave millions of people a way to process their own losses. He turned tragedy into connection, pain into purpose, silence into hope. And in the melody of one father's heartbreak, people around the world found comfort, courage, and community. If you've ever lost someone, if you've ever struggled to get out of bed, if you've ever wondered how you could keep going, you're not alone. Music can carry us when words fail. And sometimes one song is enough to remind us that love, faith, and memory never fade. They just find a new way to live on. If this story touched you, share it. Comment below what song or story has helped you through a difficult time. And if you want more inspiring stories like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of hope.